Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. I think it's Monday, which means Chelsea news is back. Congratulations to John, who won the Newcastle tickets from joining the Telegram. It was that simple. And this week I start the official partnership with Go Markets. There's still going to be loads of, let's say, additional videos talking about Chelsea every day. So check the link in the description. There's going to be another signed shirt, which I think could be, I'm not going to say who yet, but there's going to be a signed shirt given out in a couple of weeks. So make sure you join. Today, we're going to talk Pochettino's arrival. I feel as though we can kind of close the chapter now of the season to an extent, because the next 3 games are bloody difficult. We've got Manchester United on Thursday. We've then got Man City on Sunday. And then Newcastle at home on the final day of the season. 3 clubs. City can win the league if they beat us. Man United, well, you don't know what you're going to get, but they'll probably turn up. And a Newcastle team who will definitely be playing for a Champions League spot on the final day. So we can kind of maybe wave goodbye to points, I guess, between now and the end of the season. Or we can use the fact that Pochettino is now confirmed. We're still waiting on official club announcements and whatnot, but there's no way it can go wrong from here. It's nice to know that Pochettino, as much as he wasn't my #1 choice, this was made very clear in all the videos when Potter was sacked. I made it clear that I didn't really want Pochettino, but then as things started to look clearer in the sense of Poch is probably going to take over, it's not going to be Nagelsmann, it's not going to be Enrique. The nostalgia dried up of potentially an Ancelotti or Mourinho. Pochettino, there are so many positives to this appointment once you start to get rid of the bias against him because of his time at Tottenham Hotspur. And I think when we look at the players that Pochettino will probably use and want to thrive with, Mason Mount's contract is a big thing. With Arsenal interested, Liverpool interested, probably all of the top Premier League clubs and others in Europe, but I'm pretty sure he'll stay in England. Everyone's going to be interested in this guy. And when you look at this season, it's easy to forget just how important Mount was in the first 2 or 3 years of his Chelsea career. So the fact that Pochettino wants Mount to stay tells me that he's got a plan for him. Not only that, but you look at the work that Pochettino did with an Eriksen, for example, and you could totally get excited about Mason Mount getting rid of this chaotic season. Every footballer, apart from Ronaldo and Messi, every footballer's got those seasons in them where it might not be up to the standards that were set before. It may not be as good as it once was or was before, but a player who's 24 years old, to write Mount off is crazy, in my opinion. I've not been impressed with him this season. Very few have, and I'm sure he won't be. But I think Pochettino is a great manager to get the best out of him. Not just Mount, but to get the best out of this squad. Pochettino loves to be able to sit down, work out what the players in that we need are, which is what we're going to talk about today. Rice, Macallister, Martinez. These are the names that we're hearing at the moment. It was exciting until Martinez. And then when you think about, okay, Lukaku's being given a chance, Martinez and Lukaku, they have been formidable at times. Maybe I've stretched the use of that word there a little bit, but they have been excellent together at Inter Milan. And towards the end of this season, Lukaku is just starting to score goals again. And when you think that Romelu Lukaku could be about to win the Champions League, if Inter Milan do somehow beat Man City or Real Madrid, whoever it's going to be, it's an incredible feat. And it's the kind of night that as a player, you can build upon this. We've struggled to see it with some of the Chelsea lads where Kai Havertz scores the winning goal, probably the joint most important goal in Chelsea's history. And we're kind of just being like, use this, please, as your springboard to do better. And it didn't happen. Lukaku, it could happen for him. Lautoro Martinez is apparently Chelsea's #1 target because Pochettino wants to work with him. And I can see if Lukaku stays, which is something that I have tried not to entertain because there isn't really any part of me that wants to see Lukaku at Chelsea. But if Lukaku stays, then Martinez and him, the link-up has been brilliant. But with Martinez, shot conversion percentages, not great. He would be considered up there with the best strikers in the world, in my opinion, if he didn't miss so many flipping chances. So, for me, there is one thing that I would absolutely love to see, and that is Harry Kane. Now that Pochettino is joining Chelsea, Tottenham are going to have to sell him this summer because they're not going to let him go for a free. I think his contract runs out in just over a year or something. He's not going to go for free. Daniel Levy will never let him leave for free. Even though Daniel Levy will not sell to Chelsea, is what we're led to believe. Chelsea Football Club go in with a £100 million offer for Harry Kane. This cannot go wrong. It absolutely can't go wrong. Because if Chelsea were to just go and stump up that kind of money, Daniel Levy would have his head turned, for sure, to use Love Island terminology. He'd be looking at it and he'd be thinking, well, oh, she was nice, but she's a little bit better and she's just walked in from the beach. That's what £100 million can do to someone like Daniel Levy. With Manchester United, they're the favourites to sign Harry Kane. But the Pochettino effect, the fact that as good as Harry Kane's been his whole career, the numbers this season, if Erling Haaland wasn't such a robot, everyone's still talking about Harry Kane, best striker in the league. 27 league goals this year. Could still hit 30. It's an incredible season in an awful Tottenham side, in a Tottenham team that probably won't get any better. That's the realism of this point here. They've gone through Mourinho. They've gone through flipping Conte. They've got rid of their director of football because he was banned from football. Tottenham Hotspur are even more of a potential catastrophe than Chelsea's catastrophe this season. So Chelsea going with 100 mil. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Daniel Levy says no. I think there is potential here because of he was at his best, in my opinion, with Pochettino in charge at Spurs. Yes, when Pochettino arrived, they had Kane there, but then they had Song coming through as well. There were signings there that Pochettino had when he first joined, who have kind of made this Tottenham team what they are, which isn't successful. But at the same time, Harry Kane, in my opinion, was at his best as a striker with Pochettino in charge. And I think even if, which we won't have next season, no Champions League football, I don't think it would necessarily be as much of a sticking point because Pochettino could have enough to be able to bring Harry Kane here if Chelsea stump up the money and Tottenham are willing to sell to Chelsea, which is, I think, for me, the biggest thing about this. Harry Kane's not won anything. And even though Chelsea sat in 12th in the Premier League, no European football next season, we will win a trophy before Spurs. And I don't think there's many of you in the comments who are watching this video who will disagree. I would love Harry Kane, but another player that Mauricio Pochettino is very heavily, not in love with, but he wants him, Declan Rice. This is good. All of the things I'm hearing so far about Poch's targets, I can get behind it because I think if he was realistic, he'd probably want Kane over Martinez. Martinez, I'm not convinced. Depends what the price is, depends what the availability is of other top strikers. I would prefer Ivan Toney to Lautoro Martinez. I would absolutely, probably even prefer a Vlahovic from Juventus to Martinez. But it is what it is. Declan Rice is wanted by Pochettino. And also, Alexis Macallister from Brighton. Chelsea going in for a Brighton player, Macallister or Caicedo. When I watch Brighton play, they've become a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't obviously support any other Premier League team, but I very rarely give Premier League teams praise that aren't Chelsea just because it feels weird. But with Brighton, it's hard to not watch them and be like, you just gotta love it. They play great football, they lost their manager, they lose their best players and improve on that. And you've got players like Alexis Macallister, who at the start of this season, I didn't know much about him. He wins a World Cup for Argentina, plays a pivotal role in their team. Caicedo, what a player he is, by the way. The way that Brighton demolished Arsenal at the Emirates yesterday, a team that were fighting for the title until that game, is absolutely sensational. So for Macallister, he's done it in the Premier League. He is absolutely an upgrade on the midfielders we've got at the club right now. And I think Rice, Enzo, Macallister, Rice, Enzo, Mount, if Macallister's out of the equation, This is exciting. The way that Pochettino builds players, the way that Pochettino creates a system, which I think this season, when we look at all the things that have gone wrong, we had Tuchel in the way that he worked. Potter, the way that he worked. When was the last time this Chelsea team had a manager with an ideology, with a philosophy, with a way of playing, with an implementation strategy on the training ground to make us better, to improve us in every area of the field? I do believe Pochettino is a very good coach who is going to need time, but I do think with 3 or 4 signings of players that he wants to mould into this Chelsea team, and I'm not saying we're going to win the league next year. I'm not even saying we're going to get top 4, because 5th place is Champions League qualification spot for next season, so we'll take 5th. I'll take any of that right now. But I do think it's very possible, and I do think Pochettino is the correct appointment. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. First news video that we've done in a few days, so if you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Please sure to join the Telegram. Link down below so you don't miss any of the additional updates, giveaways, and whatnot. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Come on, you Blues.